You have me right where you want, Ogidei Khan. After all of my unheard prayers, I now find myself kneeling before your bow. I should feel lucky to have survived this long, but the only thoughts that still cross my mind are of what could have been before the dreams of my kingdom were silenced by a rampage of butchery. It is cruel that you now ask me to humor you with a tale so captivating that you cannot loose your arrows into our chests. But for my own sake, and that of my advisors, I, Queen Rusudan of Georgia, will try. You Mongols look at my lavish garment and assume that we Georgians have never known hardship. But in truth, we come from beginnings as humble as any warlord without a battle to his name. Our kingdom sits at a crossroads between worlds, the Byzantine West and the Persianate East. For generations, we lived in the war-torn shadows of empires, competing on all sides of the mountains surrounding us. Under the leadership of my mother Tamar, however, Georgia would finally become an empire in its own right. Initially, Tamar was merely co-regent to her father, who hoped to ready his only child for when she inherited the throne. Turning to her great-grandfather David the Builder for inspiration, the young heir applied herself to the task, acquainting herself with every tedious detail that comes with ruling a kingdom. Yet, when her father died, she found herself cast into a political game for which nothing could have prepared her. Reeling from her father's authoritative reign, the Aznauri noblemen in her court deprived her of her powers before she could wield them. To achieve their ends, they forced her to marry a deposed Russian prince named Yury, who vowed to keep her in check while the Aznauris continued to dilute the crown's authority. Facing resistance at every turn, Tamar had no choice but to travel to Armenia. There, she would seek the help of her only allies in the court, the brothers Zakarian.
Ah, sweet Armenia. It is a relief to set foot where I feel wanted.
Indeed, Armenia is a pleasant place. You can tell by those shabby buildings. Let us ride out to meet with my brother Zakare and finally put an end to these dark times.
I was to be married today, you know. I can only assume that the matter is urgent.
The Aznauris have seized control of Georgia and vested power in my ungrateful husband. You two are the only people who can help me reclaim what is rightfully mine.
Take a look around you. Our churches are fortified for a reason. If you repair them, then your peasants may garrison inside for protection.
My brother can heal your soldiers if they are ever injured. Obviously, I'm the better fighter.
Tamar, why have you left our home? Do you really think those two fools can protect you from the Seljuks?
It will not be long until the Seljuks come to raid us. We must build defenses for when the dreaded hour comes.
Or fight them like men, of course.
Yes, of course.
Repairing this building has attracted villagers to work for you.
The Aznauris reside in these Georgian towns. If we depose them, I can assume my rightful place on the throne.
I sense that there is treachery. I must dispatch my Kuman vanguard to investigate.
The season for plunder has come once more. Go forth, my riders.
Repairing this building has attracted villagers to work for you.
My husband puts more trust in his foreign mercenaries than in me. If we subdue their leader, Then they will lose the nerve to act against us.
Ivana has not done a good job of protecting this castle. If you restore it, it is yours. You have done well repairing this castle. Hopefully you are just as good at preserving it.
I feel the itch to ransack another village.
We have dealt with another treacherous as Yury.
Your actions lead to gossip and chatter in my court. Come home at once. If not, I will come and get you. Myself! My own men could have squashed those petty raiders without breaking a sweat. I suggest that you return home before something bad happens to you, Tamar.
This did not go as planned. Hopefully those hapless crusaders are easier targets.
My own wife is murdering my retinue. Enough! I will not tolerate such defiant behavior.
Yury, it is high time that we had a heart-to-heart.
Raised by the Cumans following his father's murder, Yury was skilled in combat and a shrewd judge of character. It was not long before he earned the respect of the masses. The one person who vehemently disapproved of Yury was Tamar herself, whose dysfunctional marriage left her in constant misery. When finally afforded the chance, she insisted that they be divorced. It was an unprecedented move for the already unprecedented queen, but for once she had her way, and she knew exactly who should replace Yury. From a young age, Tamar's eyes had been for David Soslan, an Alanian prince who had frequented her palace ever since her aunt began looking after him. Tall in stature and built like a fortress, my father was the fancy of every maiden in Georgia. Most importantly, however, he respected Tamar in a way Yury never had, preferring to submit to her orders rather than give his own. After so many setbacks, and with her former husband now exiled to Constantinople, the young queen could at last envision a future where she would take the lead. Opportunists lurk in the shadows of victory. Just as your father contended with a vengeful Kushluk, my mother now faced the wrath of those blindsided by Yury's ousting. One evening, Tamar invited the Aznauris to dinner, only to notice that her drink was not quite the usual color. When she caught the smug look on her guests' faces, she knew exactly who was at fault. Her suspicions were soon confirmed when Yury returned from exile and seized the stronghold of Gori. Hungry to overthrow the woman who had disgraced him, the deposed leader now spearheaded a resistance of vengeful Aznauris and new followers who he had met while in exile. Having only recently seized power, Tamar now had to hold it. In a tense showdown, the two former partners would decide their future, or lack thereof.
Yes, Tamar. I am back. Did you think that I would let another man take my rightful place?
I should have realized a rat like he would not give up so easily.
My brother and I will hold the south. You just defend Tbilisi.
Yury's allies only support him because they think we are weak. Destroy their castles, and they will quickly bend the knee.
The Asnauris chose me, and I restored order to Georgia. Yet you thanked me by stabbing me in the back. I will see that you have no home to return to. My Cumin friends seek retribution against you for killing their leader.
The treacherous Georgian rebels have forfeited their holdings.
The Byzantines have surrendered. Their base now belongs to us.
Your resistance crumbles before me, Yury. Let us finally put an end to our differences before all of Georgia is ruined.
You take me for a fool. I never needed anyone's help, and I will prove it here and now.
Father, forgive me. I have failed you.
It is over, Yury. Now my reign will start in earnest.
When Tamar's guards brought Yury before the queen, everyone in the room held their breath as she contemplated the fate of the man who had just brought her kingdom to the brink of collapse. As vengeful stares surrounded him, the once dauntless spirit suddenly broke down and burst into tears. Much like myself, Yury looked into the face of death. But in that moment, something unexpected came over my mother, and she ordered her executioner to freeze his weapon before it could land. This act of mercy appalled many, yet Tamar stood firm. Such a ruthless demonstration, she said, was unworthy of a man who had battled her so valiantly, especially when only a stroke of luck had kept her from the same fate. Yury was blessed with another chance. I can only pray that I am offered the same. Evidently my story has not impressed you, and still you ask me for more. Perhaps you would not be teasing me with my advisor's corpse if I had chosen my words more carefully. Then again, regret was all but routine for my mother, whose responsibilities only continued to grow with time. If not for her new husband's support, she would have struggled to adapt to her newfound freedom. It was not long before the confidence that David installed in her proved crucial. The ruler of Shirvan, a Georgian protectorate, pled for her aid in his struggle for the city of Shamkor, which had just fallen to a Turkmen army. Though largely unacquainted with her Muslim vassal, Tamar knew that there was little time for detailed planning. She would need to act decisively while she still had an ally left to protect.
The mighty city of Shamkor is on the horizon, but we must pillage the countryside before we can attack it. Shirvan is devastated from the siege, but will support us with resources, provided that we defend it.
Your pitiful monospars will never outmuscle my glorious horsemen.
This building holds resources. We must raise many more to supply our enemies. The Turkomans forgot about these siege engines. Let us put them to good use. We have captured a district for Shirvan.
What are the Shivanese doing here? I thought I had expelled them! No matter. I shall deal with their petty remnants.
Shamkor is Shirvan's once more. Now its people will fight by our side.
Ha! The Turkomans have promised to return my throne! Now, respect.
Even the bandits in the streets of Tbilisi have more scruples than you, Yury.
Oh, Yury! Ah, so great of you to join us. Once we are rid of these Georgians, we shall celebrate. Another party of Georgians come to surrender their lives. Surely, you must realize that tossing all of these bodies at you will never make them any stronger.
Yury, even if you behave like a rabid dog, I will not strike you down like one. Forget the crown, and I will let you live out your days in peace. We have received tribute from Shirvan.
So careless. I must flee to Ardabir and save what remains of my realm.
Our enemies have surrendered and Shirvan is restored. Victory is ours.
You may consider Tamar foolish for continually sparing her ungrateful former husband, but this steadfast kindness was her greatest quality. Despite suffering one betrayal after another, the queen remained remarkably composed. Many who once sought her demise now admired her integrity. Yury, by contrast, now struck his former supporters as a desperate and delusional renegade. With his guise of righteousness shattered, all that remained was his vanity. Few mourned when he died in a Tbilisi monastery. Tamar, meanwhile, only grew more popular as she expanded her kingdom, for the queen treated her foreign subjects with dignity rather than as lowly tributaries. Whenever the Turkomans attacked, the people of Shirvan could always count on the queen's protection. Ruthlessness can be a powerful tool, but greater still is the strength to put it aside. Although peace reigned for a time, Tamar's recent victories had drawn the Rome Sultanate's ire. With war imminent, my mother thought back to David the Builder's defining moment. The Battle of Didgori was a watershed victory for Georgia, one which permanently established it as a force to be reckoned with. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered by the long-invincible Seljuk forces, Tamar's great-grandfather led his hardy Monaspas in a decisive shock charge, one which even the victors of Manzikert could not withstand. Despite this, the Seljuks were only beaten, not vanquished. Now the haughty Sultan of Ram was eager to finally undo Didgori. He gleefully sent an emissary to Tamar, proposing that this feeble-minded woman marry him, or else be reduced to one of his concubines. When the ambassador delivered the letter to Tamar's court, an enraged Zakaria smacked the emissary in the face, sending him to the floor. Undeterred by the Sultan's insults, the queen wished to resolve the matter peacefully. But more pressing matters pulled her in another direction. Over the prior century, Armenia had fallen on hard times. Its key cities were now held by the Shaddadids, whose yoke the Zakarian brothers were eager to overthrow. Liberating Armenia would gain Tamar and her husband a valuable ally in the inevitable conflict against the Seljuks. With the fate of Georgia once again at stake, the queen would finally follow in her great-grandfather's footsteps.
Many years ago, my great-grandfather David the Builder crushed the Ram Sultanate at the Battle of Didgori. It is my destiny to uphold his legacy.
Our enemies are well equipped. Tell us what to train, and we shall adjust our strategy accordingly.
The Seljuks pillage gold with each raising. We must protect our buildings. The Seljuks outnumber our forces 6-1. We will need to expand our sphere of influence before we can take the fight to them.
Ah, I see that you have finally arrived, Queen Tamar. Just the opportunity that I need to make your acquaintance. Forgive me, Tamar. I did not word that last message to you very thoughtfully. Allow me to rephrase it. Take my hand in marriage, and you shall be the proud mother of future sultans.
I have received urgent word from my nephew Alexios. Apparently some reckless crusaders have chased him from Constantinople. He wishes to meet us near the walls of Trebizond to the west.
We have liberated a city from the Shaddadids. Now my brother and I can field larger armies.
The Shaddadids have been vanquished at last. Henceforth, the Zakarian brothers shall rule all of Armenia.
Never have I been more glad to see my aunt. Help me take Trebizond, and you'll have my eternal gratitude.
Trebizond is all yours, Alexios.
My new home is not as fancy as Constantinople, but I shall build a palace here to suit an emperor. Help me defend my laborers while they work tirelessly to complete it.
Your defeat is inevitable, Tamar. I suggest that you find something fancy for your grand entrance into my capital.
What a magnificent sight! I hardly miss Constantinople now. Allow me to fight alongside you against the Seljuks.
What a pity, those ineffectual Saracens. Well, more loot for me. Please, just go away. I promise never to bother you again.
A glorious victory for Georgia. David the Builder would be proud.
Tamar's victory over the Seljuks earned Georgia immense prestige. Like David the Builder before her, she wasted no time in making the most of it. Tamar promoted educational reform and built new churches and hospitals throughout her ever-expanding domains. She worked tirelessly to improve the lives of the common people, whom the Aznauris had long ignored. From the humble soldier to the eloquent poet, Tamar cherished every loyal follower who had contributed to her success. She transformed Georgia from a small backwater kingdom into a flourishing empire, whose influence stretched from the shores of the Caspian Sea to the highlands of Anatolia. Truly, it was an inspiring time to grow up. In my youth, I never could have foreseen that this realm would one day be laid waste. Yet, as my mother knew all too well, even the happiest of moments can swiftly be soured. One night, an advisor arrived with a message that would forever haunt her. Your husband is dead. I was too distant from my father to be moved by his passing. But now, as I stare at the ghostly remains of my capital, I finally understand what my mother felt on that dreadful night. Even before the word spread, it was obvious that something had changed in the queen. Only seldom would she show her face in public, and when she did, her manner was terse and indifferent. Misfortune followed swiftly. The resurgent Turkmens devastated Zakhare's capital of Ani, while Ivane was briefly imprisoned during one of his campaigns. Without David to soothe her, the widowed queen took to eating to cope with the stress. Doubt gnawed at her. Had she truly been this weak all along? Up until then, my mother had prevailed over sultans, emirs, and her own husband. Desperate to convince herself of something greater, she set her sight on a foe like none she had ever crossed. The Khwarazm Shah, I assume, needs little introduction. Your armies have become quite familiar with his former domains by now. By challenging her most dangerous neighbor, Tamar put all of Georgia at risk. As her health took a turn for the worse, she knew that the next day was no guarantee. Before her time came, she would embark on one final test of her abilities. Only I remain now. What few words I have left to say may be my very last. No matter what follows, you shall know the whole truth.
Well, this is it. Either we achieve our greatest triumph or we return on the brink of permanent ruin.
We must secure supplies from Persian cities to strengthen our position. The Shah is gathering his army as we speak, so there is no time to lose. The Turkoman city of Ardabil is nearby. We should crush what remains of them. Their hands are still bloody from the slaughter of my subjects in Adi.
Entire kingdoms cower before me. Yours shall be no exception.
The Gorids were once mighty conquerors, but now they are the Shah's lackeys. We should burn down their fortress, so that they cannot reinforce his army.
Strangers, I pray that you have come to free us from the Shah's tyranny. Oh, what a relief it is to be rid of that horrid garrison. As long as you protect us, we will supply and house your army.
Go ahead. Let those peasants feed your worthless cause. They'll be just as useless to you as they were to me.
Oh, what a relief it is to be rid of that horrid garrison. As long as you protect us, we will supply and house your army.
My marvelous palace, Samarkand, holds everything that I need. No amount of loot that you steal from those decrepit cities will ever harm me.
We have pillaged resources from this Persian supply depot.
This trading outpost leads to the fabled Silk Road. We should capture it and seize the Shah's gold. With this trading post captured, the Silk Road will now supply us and not the Shah. Without their fortress, the Gorids will not be able to muster as many soldiers.
You are in foreign lands, surrounded by enemies. What can you possibly expect to achieve here? Eye on you, Queen Tamar. I hope that bloodthirsty Shah gives you a fiery death!
We have done everything that we can. The Shah's army will be here soon. Let us join the rest of our forces.
Carrying all of this loot back to Georgia will require many men. If you wish to spend it all immediately, The Armenian wing of our army will have to stay behind.
These soldiers are too valuable to leave behind. We will bring the rest of the loot home later. We stand together at this moment. Fight bravely in the name of Georgia.
Do not bet an eye. I'm feeling just fine. Just let me lie down for a moment. 1, 2.
Ah, just listen to my elephants as they thunder across the field. They sound the tune to my victory march.
Charge my monospas! Unleash the power of Georgia!
Forward, men! For Queen Tamar!
My kind weaklings! I will slay any deserters with my own sword!
Our enemies are breaking! We have almost prevailed, my queen!
No! I must flee back to Samarkand, where I will be safe.
We did it! The Shah's armies have crumbled! The kingdom of Georgia shall immortalize your name!
My body fails me with every passing moment. Bring me home to be to our beautiful kingdom as I will feel.
Have I finally evoked something in you? Is it your respect for my mother's victory against the Shah, the man whose defeat was the crowning jewel of your father's achievements, that makes you spare my life? Is that why you offered me the bow that moments ago was to kill me? For all the atrocities that you have wrought, it would be perverse of me to accept it. And yet, I will. My mother brought Georgia to heights previously unthinkable. She contended with the greats of her time and bested them all. She left behind a magnificent legacy. But for all my efforts, I have failed to preserve it. I'm not worthy of Tamar the Great, nor have I ever been. If submitting to your rule will save what is left of our kingdom, then I will accept your friendship. In return, I plead only that you accept this. Inscribed is a story of valor, adversity, and companionship. The Knight in the Panther's skin is a tale inspired by my mother's life, one which raises our spirits to this day. When generations have passed, these stories will be all that we leave behind. Your father may well be renowned as the greatest conqueror of all time, whilst my mother becomes just another one of history's forgotten. However the next 1,000 years look back on us, may our fates be bound evermore.